Ooh.
One drawing.
So once I get to Matt, that'll be the actual filing for both companies then?
Yeah, once that happens, then the property is. Is there any filing of deeds? One? Normally file deeds.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Victor Planning Board meeting for August 24th. Before we say the pledge, I'd like to make a couple of announcements. Please take note of the emergency exits on either side of the room. Restrooms are out the door and to the left. If you haven't already, please sign the attendance sheet at the back of the room on the table, even if you're a developer and presenting the application. There are business cards at the back table next to the sign-in sheet to take with you with the email address, phone number for the planning department if you need so. Also check our lovely website. Also at the back of the table is a copy of the resolutions that will be read tonight along with the agenda. Please turn off your cell phones and or silence them, and any conversations you choose to have, please take them out into the hallway. So with that, I'd like to start the meeting with the pledge. The flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. I'd like to note before we start that there are two items on the agenda which have been removed until the September 14th meeting. First item, Victor Health and Wellness Plaza has been removed, and also the Target drive-up expansion at the applicant's request. So with that, I'd like to introduce the meeting minutes from July 27th that Lisa sent around today. Has everyone had a chance to look at them? Scott, did you look at them?
I think I was absent for that meeting.
You were?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so there's three of us that have reviewed them. If you guys are okay, I'll entertain a motion for approval. Al
Moved.
Al moves.
Second.
Joe Limbeck seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried 3-0 with one abstention. Ernie is absent this evening for a family emergency. So with that, we received some correspondence other than from Al. No public correspondence, Lisa? Okay. Boards. Ed Kohovic is here. Would you like to say something, Ed?
Maybe.
Okay. The floor is yours.
I know, I can't believe it. Thank you, Lisa. Couple quick things. Number one, there was a proposal that was given to the Victor Town Board yesterday from the American Legion about redoing the area outside of this doorway to update it and give it more visibility. So that's something that we are considering, just so you're aware. There was also a public hearing on the thing we've had discussions about, moving the one parcel in the town from A to C from a zoning perspective. That public hearing is still open. There was quite a bit of discussion around that. Many of the neighbors showed up. Those that didn't send in correspondence, so there's a lot to be considered with what's going on over in that part of town.
Is that continuing at the next meeting?
It will, yes. The
Great.
public hearing will be held over to the next meeting.
Thank you.
And last but not least, this is my last meeting in this rotation. Mike Guinan is up next.
Okay. Well, thanks for
Thanks.
your attendance,
That's
Ed. Appreciate it and all the input you've had. So with that, any other boards here? Kim, update for the next meeting?
So your next meeting will be September 14th, with the two carryovers that you mentioned, the Victor Health and Wellness Plaza, and then the Target Drive-Up expansion. And we have several public hearings. First public hearing will be for the O'Neill subdivision lot number 3 at 7915 County Road 41. Applicant is requesting approval to construct a single-family home on 9.02 acres. They're also requesting to modify the originally proposed conservation easement for that property. The second public hearing will be for the Victor Square Plaza for parking and entrance improvement. The applicant is requesting approval to convert the existing fire access onto Route 96 to a right-in, right-out curb cut along with installing adaptive control traffic signals along the Route 96 corridor, the signals in front of the mall, all the way to the thruway signal. And the Victor Square Plaza, if you're not familiar with it, is where Goodwill used to be. It's vacant now. I think, I don't even know what's in that plaza anymore. The third public hearing will be for Highline Park on Main Street Fishers. The applicant is requesting approval to construct 146 different types of for-rent residential units with supporting clubhouse amenities. The fourth public hearing will be for Vmworld parking lot expansion on State Route 96. The applicant is requesting approval to demolish the existing house with its accessory structure and to extend the parking lot. And the proposed parking lot will have a new access drive lane that will tie into the existing curb cut. And then the final public hearing will be, I'm sorry, that one's been tabled. So you won't have I don't
okay.
believe that you'll have another public hearing after Vmworld. And then if there are any carryovers from tonight.
Great, thank
Any
you, Kim.
questions?
A little longer than tonight's meeting, I suspect. Thank you, Kim. We have this evening 2 public hearings, both of which were printed at the Daily Messenger on August 17th, 2021. First one is for the TLC Adventures in Childcare, and located at 119 Victor Heights Parkway, is requesting approval to operate as a child care facility in the existing structure. It's a change of use. The property is owned by Ontario County IDA and zoned industrial. So if you'd care to step up, name and address, please.
Hi, Teresa Croce, address 308 Edgebury Drive, Rochester, New York. The only comment that I got was sent over by Lisa, and it addressed certain questions. Do you guys have a copy of that from Al Benedict?
Yes, we did get a copy of it.
Okay, so the only ones that required addressing were number 2, regarding any changes to the outside of the building. There are no changes. It's not required a fenced-in area because it's only school age or above.
Okay.
Number 3, number of children would be 60 total, which would result in 7 staff plus 1 cook, so a total of 8. Number 4, number of parking spaces, I affirm that it's correct. And number 5, I sent an email to the landlord earlier today requesting that he will designate the parking spaces, and Jeff Cook responded to that and said, great knows he's going to take care of that. So if you want those emails.
Great, thank you. Anything else you'd like to say about the application? I know that those are kind of.
We've been there, so
questions. Yeah,
we're pretty
right.
good.
Okay. And I know we haven't received any correspondence. Marty, if there's anything that's come up online about this application? Okay. So with that, I guess before I bring it to the board for questions, I'd like to close a public hearing and entertain a motion for that.
A move.
Al May moves.
Second.
Joe seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. So, any questions from the board? I'll start on my right, Al.
No, the only question I had was in regards to the parking, and the applicant answered that, so I'm good.
Okay. Joe?
No questions.
I have none.
Okay. And neither do I. So, we've discussed this project before, so I think we're pretty clear, and I appreciate your answering those questions. So, we do have a resolution this evening for approval,
Okay.
which I will read. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
So, whereas the planning board made the following findings of fact, and this is for TLC Adventures in Childcare, 119 Victor Heights Parkway. A special use permit application was received on July 19th, 2021 by the Secretary of the Planning Board for a site plan entitled TLC Adventures in Childcare. It's the intent of the applicant to operate as a childcare facility in the existing structure. There are 6 other whereases, and I don't believe there's anything that's really outstanding about those. So now therefore be it resolved that the application of Teresa Croce, is it Croce or Croce? Croce. Yeah. TLC Adventures in Childcare for special use permit received by the Planning Board on July 19th, 2021. Planning Board application 7 SU 2021 be approved with the following conditions. And there is one, that the comments from the Code Enforcement Officer dated August 24th, 2021 be addressed, which she did today. And be it further resolved that the Planning Board Secretary distribute the Planning Board's approval letter. So I'll entertain a motion for approval of the resolution.
I'll move it.
Scott moves.
Second.
Joe seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried 4-0. So you're all set. The second and final public hearing this evening is for Historic High Point Retail Phase 3. It's a patio. The applicant is requesting approval to construct a 500-square-foot concrete patio and fence in front of the northern building to be utilized by Old Pueblo Grill Restaurant. So, Mr. Creticos?
Hey, good evening, everybody. How are you this all? I'm James Creticos with BME Associates, here on behalf of Fred Rinaldi Jr. with High Point Retail Phase 3 LLC. Pretty straightforward application this evening. We're asking to get a small, as you said, noted, 500-square-foot patio approved. This is going to be located immediately in front of 235 High Street, which is the northern building, which is the one on the left on the screen. Pretty exciting to finally get this. It's kind of always been slotted for Old Pueblo Grill since the conception of the building. It's actually funny, I was looking at some dates and sat exactly 2 years from when we were here at the last patio application for the one behind Fleet Feet and Farmhouse Brewery on the other building. As part of that last application, we did do a parking utilization study at the board's request to give you guys a level of comfort with the parking in the whole area. That study had allocated a 99 occupancy space for the space. We provided a floor plan which is consistent with that, including the seasonal outdoor patio. We kind of noted on some of the stormwater implications from this and the letter of intent. Obviously, as it's only 500 square feet and pretty much immediately adjacent to the building, there's not really any significant runoff coming off of this. The site is designed well above the requirements for water quality and runoff reduction. I believe the 2-year storm was actually infiltrated on site. And then even further, if you remember from the development in this area, all this runoff does go to the Eastview Mall recharge ponds, and there actually isn't a discharge to waters of the U.S. So we've always had debates whether we need to actually do a permit for the development. Obviously, with the scale of this, we're well under any thresholds. So if you guys have any specific questions, I'd be happy to discuss.
Before we open up to the board, is there anyone from the public here that is interested in asking questions? Sparsely populated this evening, so, and I assume there's nothing online yet, Marty? Okay, thank you. All right, Scott, any questions?
No, I don't have a question. I was listening to what Jim said about the stormwater. So the drainage from High Point goes into the Eastview All Pond system?
Pretty much the whole area, all of 96 in that area, all gets discharged
it all
into
goes
those Eastview Mall ponds, yeah. And they're pretty outrageous for infiltration rates in there, which is surprising compared to a lot of the other soils in the area.
I didn't know that. I don't have any questions on what you're proposing. It's pretty straightforward.
Oh,
I agree, it's pretty straightforward.
okay. Al,
With no questions.
you said you were going to ask.
I was,
Trying to draw it out.
when you're beat, you're beat.
There's not a lot there to work on.
No.
Well, as this is a public hearing, we need to close it. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move it.
Scott moves.
I'll second.
Al seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 4-0. And I have no problem with this application. It looks like pretty straightforward, and it's great to see something coming in there. And
Yep, they were hoping to be open, I think, by the end of the year, actually.
Yeah, okay,
So
good.
it'll be nice, for
a
sure.
little chilly for the patio, but,
Yeah, we'll be okay in the spring or in the early
Yeah,
summer.
for sure.
I did have a chance to read the resolution. I don't have any questions on it either.
Okay, great. So I will do that then. If there's no further questions, we'll move this forward. Whereas the planning board made the following findings of fact. This is for application 26 SP 2021. Site plan application was received on July 21st, 2021 by the Secretary of the Planning Board for the site plan entitled Historic High Point Retail Phase 3 Patio. It's the intent of the applicant for the site plan modification to construct 500 square foot concrete patio and fencing in front of the northern building to be utilized, excuse me, by the Old Pueblo Grill Restaurant. There are 6 total whereases. The last one is Town of Victor Code Enforcement Officer reviewed the application, provided comments in a letter dated August 7th, 2021. And James, you said there were no issues with those comments?
There were actually no comments.
There was no, yeah. Okay, just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page. Now therefore be resolved that the application of HHP Phase 3 Retail LLC site plan entitled Historic High Point Retail Phase 3 Patio, drawn by BME Associates, dated July 20th, 2021, received by the Planning Board July 21st, 2021. Planning Board application number 26 SP 2021 be approved with the following conditions. Conditions to be addressed prior to chairman's signature on the site plan, that no final signatures will be given on the plans until all legal and engineering fees have been paid as per fee reimbursement local law adopted November 25th, 1996. And ongoing questions that the conditions that the site plan comply with the Town of Victor design and construction standards for land development, including Section 4, and be it further resolved that the planning board secretary distribute the planning board's approval letter. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Joe Limbeck moves.
I'll second.
Scott seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. It's carried. You're all set?
Thank you guys very much. Have a
Say hi to Fred. So, any other business by members of the board to stretch out the meeting?
Well, now that you mention it, Joe. No.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that.
Second.
Scott and Al, or Joe. All in favor?